the regular meeting of the Tinley Park Plan Commission to order for the June 7, 2018 meeting, and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Croner,
Here.
Stanton,
Here.
Curran, Engel, Manny,
Here.
Gatto,
Here.
Gray, Augustiniak,
Present.
Shaw.
Here. Okay, we have a quorum. We will begin with communications. Do we have anything?
Not at this moment.
Next item is approval of minutes from the May 3rd, 2018 regular meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Aye.
Move Commissioner Gatto, second.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Augustiniak. Do we have any comments or corrections on the minutes from May 3rd? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the minutes from the May 3rd, 2018 regular meeting of the Plan Commission, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes are approved. We have this evening 3 items scheduled for public, 2 public hearings and a workshop. My understanding is that 2 of the 3 we will not be having this evening.
Correct.
And so the Verizon Wireless public hearing, which is scheduled for number 2, the applicant is here, and we will move forward with the agenda, moving straight to agenda item number 2. Second here. All right. So, do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Move Commissioner Manny, second.
Second.
Second Commissioner Gatto. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are now in public hearing. We have one individual here. I assume you wish to speak this evening? You just raise your hand, I'll swear you in.
Sure.
Do you swear the testimony you're going to give this evening on this matter will be the truth?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you up, but you're welcome to stand there because I think this will probably be relatively quick.
Sure.
I will confirm that I've looked through the published public notice for the hearing, and I've seen proper public notice. We can move right on to the staff presentation.
Okay, so we are here tonight for site plan approval for the construction of the ground equipment and associated landscaping for a new wireless facility, and also a special use permit with variations. The following variations are a 61-foot height variation, where the height is limited to a freestanding tower of 100 feet. And we did initially request a variation to have the installation of a steel platform with operational equipment, but that is no longer needed. The applicant has agreed to construct a masonry structure as per our code, and I can show you what that will look like. So again, these were the variations initially requested for the new wireless facility in the ComEd easement located here, south of 163rd Street. It's a large swath of land running far north and south and full of ComEd structures. And on the left of it is an existing 8-foot bike path that is utilized through an easement with the village, maintaining that bike path. And this is what you will see out there. Back in 2012, there was an existing riser pole in this structure that was removed approximately in 2015. And there was also associated equipment then. And here's what it looks like today. And to the north of this, on 163rd Street, there is still an existing wireless facility pole along with their structure, which has landscaping, and it is a brick masonry building. So that just shows you the circle to the north of 163rd is that photo of the existing one, and then to the south of 163rd is the new location that Verizon Wireless would like to utilize for their facility. We had one open item. We have resolved that, and I will show you in the next exhibit where we did explore other village-owned properties to see if it could be an opportunity for them to locate as per our ordinance requires. And here is the kind of, I don't want to use the wrong term, but this shows the existing reliability as it is today with then there's the new site, and then with the new site it shows you how it basically allows the service to be reliable in all the categories, in the residence, in the vehicle, if I'm saying that right, and on the street. But here's the map that we indicated, all the existing locations, and there is potentially a site that would be close enough, and that is Fire Station number 2, and that is shown, let's see, where is that shown on your map here? So you're
Where the red, do you mind?
Yeah.
Where the red dot kind of right in the middle, and just to the southeast of that, it says TP, Tinley Park Fire Station number 2.
Correct. Okay, so that's that to the
Purple dot.
east,
Yeah.
right? We did explore that, and the challenge with that as of right now is the village is still looking at that site's going to be redeveloped. They're going to do a new station, and they're still in that design phase, and they're not ready to allocate land for, this would have to be a large monopole, and they're still in those early stages, so they didn't feel like they'd want to entertain that at this moment, and that there isn't any existing antenna poles in that area, so they also didn't know how well that would be received by the residents. So that really isn't an option.
That site is also adjacent to a playground, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah.
If memory serves me.
It is.
Park and playground.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a large park. So we kind of thought that's really not an option at this point. So that did answer our questions about could they go anywhere on a village-owned parcel, and the answer is right now, no.
Could we go back
Sure.
a couple slides real quick and look at the existing?
The service?
Okay, and, all right, now,
then
and
with
then
the
then the
con-
proposed?
And then with the construction, it
Okay.
kind of reduces that area down.
I mean, not doing the math or anything, I was just trying to imagine the same, same coverage at the other location, and,
Oh, I see, okay.
It would still be lacking towards 6 and farther north, but
okay, sorry, you can proceed.
Sure, okay. So again, this is the variation request, and a lot of that is dictated because of the ComEd structure and the existing height of that structure, and then they also have an additional 5-foot separation that they need to maintain for their antenna equipment to go on top. The site plan really has not changed much from when we last reviewed it. The only change is now, instead of the steel equipment platform, they're doing a more masonry structure. And part of the site plan notes I commented, I think it's still called out a wood fence, and the commissioners requested a vinyl fence to be consistent. So that's one item that just needed to get changed on the site plan. But here's our new landscaping plan now. And the landscaping plan was reviewed, and we feel it is a plan that is incorporating some other species of evergreens, and they're clustering them so it's not so linear and has some dimension. So they are proposing 6 hawthorn trees, 6 eastern red cedar, and 6 eastern white pine trees, all which are approved species in our landscaping ordinance, and they'd be installed in groupings of 3 as shown in the plan at a height of 8 feet when installed. And then we would also have the vinyl fence that would be around the structure. So we feel that this item has been addressed appropriately by the applicant. Again, this is that fence, it just would be a vinyl product instead of the wood. And I don't know why this is, is that coming up too blown out? Can you not see all of the images?
It's zoomed in a bit.
Okay, maybe it's too big. I can reduce it really quickly to show you. This is the image of the,
It's in our packet anyway.
yeah, it's in your packet.
Yeah. Yep.
Perfect. Yep, that'll work.
Good. Okay, so then now this is the brick building. It does have exterior AC window, I call them window units, but they do have to have those in the exterior, which is similar to a recent case called SBA on 167th. There was a recent new pole there on a village-owned parcel, and this is very, very similar to that. And so it would be an all-brick facade. Here are some images that he gave me as example of brick. I was curious what color options they had. Considering there's really nothing out there in that ComEd easement and lack of vegetation, I was thinking the more taupe, lighter brick, which would be the top right, would be an appropriate color to kind of blend in with that more grass area out there. Otherwise, they had the other darker brick, which I think would be more appropriate if there was existing buildings and maybe you were trying to match it into a more urban setting. So this is what those would look as an example. And then just then the open items with the site plan would be to make sure that the vinyl fence would be taupe in color to also match that brick. And I was prefacing the taupe brick, if everyone agreed with that, and then just keeping that as an outstanding item, addressing any engineering and public works items that can be addressed as part of the permit process. So, again, we've limited some of the requests. There's no variation anymore for landscaping or the structure. It really just is the special use for the structure to be there on the ComEd location, and then the height would be the variation. And that's my presentation. I know you guys went through this a lot at the workshop, so I'll leave it to the applicant to add more.
Okay.
In depth anything.
So, you would like to speak on it? You're Brian, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah. Ms. Clark explained it very well. The only thing I would add is that we do feel as though we have met the requirements that came up at the workshop, and we've worked closely with the planning department to try and allow this to blend into the to the look that Tinley Park is asking for. And again, I just wanted to reiterate that this exact location was largely chosen to mirror the design that was up from roughly 2008 to 2015. US Cellular occupied this exact same space with essentially the exact same design and equipment. So this is the reason why we went here to begin with as well. So it should blend in with other installations that are up and down that same set of transmission lines, and again, we think that this is part of the existing landscape that the neighbors and the town is used to looking at, and it'll blend in very well. I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you.
Yep.
Questions from any of the commissioners? Let's start down here, Mr. Manning.
No questions from me.
No questions.
Any issues with going with the taupe that staff recommends?
No, not at all. We'll identify that on the set of plans that we submit for building permit for review and approval.
And the PVC fencing that you use, it's a solid plank fencing?
We've used solid. I mean, you can put up any design that you want. There was and we'll do whatever is required to get a permit. There was some discussion that the building to the north doesn't actually have fencing. There was some discussion of not actually even putting up a fencing and just doing the landscaping. However, we left the fencing on there. We'll put it up if that's what's required to get the permit. We have no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, I did see a note if in your discussions, if they went with the brick shelter and did the landscaping, there could be an option if you guys wanted to waive the fence, but, or not require it.
Yeah.
But they're showing it there.
Commissioner Augustiniak?
Based on those answers, that clears up my issues.
Great. Commissioner Stan?
The building height is how tall?
It's on there.
I had it. I think it's like 8.
I want to say it's 8 feet.
And then the evergreens are going to be 8 feet when they're put in?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yeah, it's more
No,
like
I think it's
11
great. I think
11
it'll be
feet.
From
good.
ground height to the very top of the structure is 11 feet, you say?
Yeah, I believe that's what it says here. Says proposed 11-foot by
Yeah.
16-foot
It'll probably be 40 feet
equipment
Okay.
shelter with face brick.
I don't that's the height, but that's the width and the depth. I don't know, that's 11 feet high. But either way, there's going to be an 8-foot tree in front of it, several.
Based
9
on-
foot, sorry,
9
I
foot.
speak corrected, 9 foot from grade to top.
Yeah, I was
For
going
the
to say,
building?
based on the elevations I'm looking at.
Yep.
Standard
Right.
6'8" door.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pitch. Couldn't be much more than that.
Good, thank you.
Mhm.
Great. I actually don't have any questions.
All right.
I think you answered everything, and then anything that was here in the staff presentation, so I don't want to hold you up at all there. At this point in the public hearing would be for any objectors, and seeing none here. There's nothing for the petitioner to rebut. So, I would say that at this point, I would like to entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Wait, hold on. Again, this is opportunity for public comment. We don't see any members of the public here, but I just, for the record, want to make sure that we have an opportunity here. So now I will entertain a motion.
I will move to close public hearing.
Commissioner Augustiniak, second. Second, Commissioner Stanton. All in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, public hearing is closed. So, at this point, I would entertain a motion on this matter.
So I have,
Doesn't she have to go through the?
Commissioner Croner, you are correct. I apologize for jumping very far ahead. Could we just do a quick run-through of the standards?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure. So the first is the special use standards, and the first item is that the establishment, maintenance, or operations of the special use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare. The proposed wireless facility equipment will operate similarly to the previous equipment that was once on this site, as well as the existing equipment that is north of this site, and that this riser tower will be installed within the existing electrical transmission tower, and the equipment shelter will be enclosed with a fence and landscaping for screening. The fence enclosure will be secured with a locked gate, and the shelter will also be secured and locked. The additional cell antenna on the electrical transmission tower will improve the coverage for the carrier in the area. B, that the special use will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted, nor substantially diminish and impair property values. Again, there are existing electrical transmission towers throughout the entire length of this easement. The proposed wireless facility equipment is proposing to use this existing structure, and it will be adequately screened and landscaped so that it will not be injurious or reduce the enjoyment to the adjacent properties nearby. C, that the establishment of special use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding property. The area is pretty well developed, and the ComEd easement cannot have any future development on it that's not ComEd approved. But there, again, is the existing transmission towers that will limit any other development. That the surrounding property has, again, been developed for residential use, and that the applicant is doing everything they can to help screen and hide the equipment with appropriate landscaping and screening. The adequate utilities, access roads and drainage, and other necessary facilities have been or are being approved. They're going to be using the existing road of 163rd Street and a bike path to enter onto the property. There's not much need to get to the equipment on a regular basis, but the petitioner will provide adequate access to get to this equipment, both by using the existing 163rd Street and existing path. The adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress so designed as to minimize traffic congestion. There should be limited traffic coming in and out of this site, only for needs of repair. And again, they're using existing infrastructure that is there today that can be used. That the special use shall in other respects conform to the applicable regulations of the district in which it is located, except as such regulations may in each instance be modified by the village board pursuant to the recommendations of the plan commission. The only request is that the pole exceeds the maximum height limitations, and therefore it requires a special use review as part of this approval process. The proposed improvements conform to the intent of all aspects of the village ordinances. Lastly, the extent to which the special use contributes directly to or indirectly to the economic development of the community. The addition of cell antennas on the tower will improve the coverage for the carrier in the area, which may improve the ability for increased business in the area, and that the landscape improvements will also improve the overall aesthetics of the site, which indirectly improves the economic development of the community of Tinley Park. So that was the items for the special use standards.
Okay. We also have the variation standards.
So the variation standards would be one, that the property in question cannot yield a reasonable return if permitted to be used only under the conditions allowed. The property can still be continued for the use of ComEd for the electrical transmission, so there is no question that the property cannot yield a reasonable return. The plight of the owner is due to unique circumstances. The variation is needed because the petitioner is utilizing an existing tower, which has limitations to how they have to maintain a separation of their equipment and the top ComEd. So that is what is the unique circumstance here for the total variation of a height of having 161 feet instead of 100. The variation, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. Again, we're trying to use the existing transmission tower that is there today, camouflaging it with their equipment, and that the additional height for the riser pole will not alter the essential character of the locality, as there was a previous riser pole at this same location. And those are the items. There are additional items the Plan Commission can also use in making their determination. So we have three motions. One would be the site plan, the second would be the special use, and the third would be the variation.
Thank you. I appreciate you going through all that. So if there are no further questions or comments, I would entertain some motions on this matter.
Commissioner Stanton, I'd like to make a motion to grant the petitioner Brian Donnelly on behalf of Verizon Wireless site plan approval for the proposed property located at 8201 West 163rd Street in accordance with the plans submitted and listed herein within the following conditions. The proposed 6-foot fence around the shelter be made of vinyl instead of wood and be a taupe color. The face brick of the structure match the taupe fence around it. Outstanding public works and engineering items must be addressed prior to the issuance of the building permit.
Okay. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Gatto. Do we have any comments on the motion on the table? I'm hearing none. I will ask for a roll call.
Croner,
Yes.
Manny,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Augustiniak,
Aye.
Shaw,
Yes.
Stanton.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, motion carries. Moving on, do I have a second motion on this matter?
That's Commissioner Augustiniak. Motion to recommend to the village board the granting of the following variation to the petitioner, Brian Donnelly, on behalf of Verizon Wireless located at 8201 West 163rd Street, consistent with the listed submitted plans as attached herein, and adopt the findings of facts submitted by the applicant and the findings of facts proposed by village staff as may be amended by the Plan Commission at this meeting. A 61-foot height variance from section 3.W.2.A, where the height limitation for a freestanding tower is 100 feet.
Okay, hearing the motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Manny. Any questions or comments on this motion? Hearing none, could we get a roll call, please?
Croner,
Yes.
Stanton,
Yes.
Manny,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Augustiniak,
Aye.
Shaw.
Yes, this motion carries. Okay, moving on to our third motion. We tracked down this side here, so do you want to do a third one here, Commissioner?
Sure, I'll be glad
Cronin?
to. I'd like to make a motion to recommend the village board the granting of the following special use permit to the petitioner, Brian Donnelly, on behalf of Verizon Wireless, located at 8201 West 163rd Street, consistent with the list of submitted plans as attached herein, and adopt findings of fact submitted by the applicant, findings of fact proposed by the village staff as may be amended by the planning commission at this meeting. The proposed 6-foot fence around the shelter be made of vinyl instead of wood and be a taupe color. The face brick of the structure match the taupe fence around it. Outstanding public works and engineering items must be addressed prior to the issuance of a building permit. The special use permit will also allow for the installation of a new 161-foot riser pole tower within an existing ComEd transmission tower and the construction of a masonry brick shelter for related ground equipment enclosed by a 6-foot vinyl fence.
Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Gatto. Any questions or comments on this one? Hearing none, can we get a roll call, please?
Stanton?
Yes.
Manny?
Yes.
Augustiniak?
Aye.
Gatto?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes. Third
Oh,
motion?
Croner, wait, I forgot Croner, sorry.
Thanks a lot. Yes.
All right. All votes are in. So this motion carries as well. So you're all set. This matter will move on to the village board. Do we have a date set for that?
Yes, it's, what's the date, June?
June
19th,
19th.
yeah.
For the,
And because this was unanimous, it will be, we'll recommend one reading at the village board.
Great.
Hey, Brian, can I just say something on behalf of the Planning Commission? I don't want to speak for my other commissioners, but we appreciate you guys working with us. In the past, I think this is the fourth one that we've dealt with as a commission since the three of us, since Tim and Chairman Shaw have been on the Planning Commission. And you're the first one that came to the meeting prepared, fully prepared, and willing to work with staff on their recommendations in the Planning Commission. So thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we're all set. I echo Commissioner Croner's sentiments on that. Appreciate it.
So we could go to item 1, open it and table it again?
Thank you.
Yep.
We discussed that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks.
So moving back to item 1, we do have a public hearing that has been properly noticed. Procedurally, we are going to open the public hearing and then table it to a date certain, I believe. We
Yeah.
have a planned date for that?
I was just going to do again to the next meeting, which would be June 21st, correct?
June 21st is our next meeting. Okay, so if there are no objections from any of the commissioners, I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing for the Tesla Supercharging Station at 7204 West 191st Street. Site plan approval and special use with exceptions.
So moved.
Second.
Moved Commissioner Croner, second Commissioner Augustiniak. All in favor of opening public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
And I will say that I do have proper notice of publication of this, and I will now entertain a motion to table to a date certain of June 21st.
Can I just ask a question before we take it?
Sure.
What's the delay?
Yeah,
This is the
so
second meeting.
I've been constantly tickling them, seeing what's the status. They have indicated to me their new design is waiting approval of the landlord, the owner. And I've also tried to see if there's anything more to that, and they haven't really told me anything more, just that that's where it's being held up and that's taking some time. So I don't know the new design yet either. I haven't seen the plans, so.
Here's just a concern, a thought, because the last time they were here 3 meetings ago, I believe,
Yeah.
and the petitioner said that he had already been working with the electrical company on getting the power there. Well, now we're talking 3 weeks later, and these guys have been out there working their butts off because I go by that corner all the time. I don't know what they're doing for this, but if they
Sure.
are engaged in working on this project and they continue to drag their feet like that, that is not a good sign, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I would echo those sentiments.
So I would definitely tell them that the next meeting, they do need to show up, at least tell us what is going on, and
Okay.
give us a full status, please.
Sure.
Yes,
If that's okay with everybody. I'm just concerned, guys, we may start doing something that we don't know about.
Yeah, so as far as what work is going on there, that's an excellent point. I do know that there's a lot of construction going on with the 191st Street extension and working on the traffic control lights. But to your point, they did say that they had been in contact with ComEd to the extent they've already started work. It's a really good point for the department to follow up on.
I know, at least talking with them, they have not started any work, that it has been held up, and it's all pending the landlord approving their new design, which we haven't seen yet either. I've been kind of asking for that too,
So that land development may be other phases of other things that are going on over there.
I think it's directly involved with the roadway improvements, but I can also make sure that I can
Yeah,
confirm
because
that.
he did make the comment when Paula was asking about moving it, he says, well, we've already started, and truth be told, or something like that, I mean, if you
Yeah.
look at the film, you'll see it. We've
Okay.
already kind of started this for this location here,
Mhm.
which was alarming, and Paula, I know, was taken back by that too, by the look on her face. So, yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to ask them to come in the next meeting, regardless if they're ready to show it to us or not, so they can at least tell us what's going on, please.
Sure, not a problem.
Okay, thanks.
Well, just for the record, we are inside the public hearing at the moment, so if we are going to table this to a date certain, that's what we should do. If we don't, if we simply close the public hearing, it would have to be re-noticed for another date. So to Commissioner Croner's point, if we have somewhat reason to believe that they will be at the June 21st meeting and the hearing can continue, we'll go ahead and table it to that. We can always reopen it and then just close it.
Right, I think,
So procedurally, we're playing it conservative by tabling it.
correct.
Does that make sense for everyone?
Yes. It does.
Okay, so with that, do we have a motion to table the public hearing to a date certain of June 21st?
So,
Commissioner Manny, second.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Augustiniak. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So, are there any other items that I forgot there?
Just item 3, I don't know if you formally have to continue workshops, but.
No, we don't.
Okay.
But, because you and I spoke on the phone a couple of times, and I apologize to the rest of the commissioners for just moving ahead, Kimberly and I spoke, and that's why I was in the know, and I apologize because you folks weren't. So could you just give us a quick status of number 3?
Sure. So this individual acquired the property at the southeast corner of 159th and Oak Park Avenue, and they plan to bring their headquarters at this location. He owns an accounting firm, and they are doing work with building permits for the interior only, so you do see some stuff going on. The exterior stuff did not require a permit, it was just painting. But the other items that do need our approval is going to be related to the parking lot, the landscaping. In addition, they want to have an apartment on the second floor, of which this all did come before this group about a year ago with a different individual. And as you know, special uses run with the owner. So this individual has to kind of come back forth and re-ask for that request. Unfortunately, he's under the weather and was hoping that maybe he didn't have to be present, so I wanted to talk with the chairman. I didn't know if that was something we ever would entertain. I think because of the items related to it, we felt it really required an applicant to be able to respond. I don't think I would be able to respond for him. So with that, he was okay with this conversation being continued. And some of the items we need to talk in length are the phasing of how he's going to handle the parking lot, landscaping, knowing that there's some outside approvals required from another agency that may need some time. But he is doing the work that he legally can do with the building permit and the interior stuff with hopes to really getting his offices up and running.
So this gentleman, the petitioner, is he the new owner?
Yes, he is the owner, and will be also relocating his offices here, and will be renting out some remaining space in that building for other tenants.
So he currently doesn't have any other properties in Tinley?
He currently is renting his office in Tinley Park. I do think he owns other properties, he's
Okay.
mentioned that to me, but this will be his first ownership of a building here. So instead of renting, he's now gonna own a building and bring his business in, and in addition, have some other tenants.
So I'm pretty sure Commissioner Stanton, Commissioner Croner would remember this from the previous time and some of the open items and sticking points that we had. And based on that and additional points that Kimberly brought up today, felt it was prudent to go ahead and delay it until the petitioner can be present, because if we did a workshop,
Yep.
there's only so much that staff is going to be able to answer. All the questions are going to be for the petitioner.
Yep, good move.
So in the interest of our time and his time, we decided to do it. So once again, apologize for just, assuming you telepathically, you guys were filled in on that. And so for the other commissioners, I don't believe that you were on the commission when we heard that one. Is that correct? Okay.
No.
So it'll be exciting new stuff for you. And I do know one of the items, as Kimberly mentioned, was that there are existing parking spaces that are actually in the IDOT right-of-way. And so I don't believe we covered that last time around. There was discussion of sidewalks, bus shelter, an existing pylon sign. So all some fun things that we get to cover again when we have that.
If you find it beneficial, I'd be happy to provide you the meeting minutes, if you think that would add to some of the history for any of the
It's a good idea.
members.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Keep
I
us
do
from
think
having
that
to
would be a
reinvent the wheel.
really good idea as part of the package. One of the things I did ask staff is how, at least for the design of the apartment, how close are the designs to what we saw before? And
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
effectively
Compare
the
and
same or
contrast
very
would help.
similar.
Yeah, one bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should be in good shape for there. So, and staff has some additional time to work through some of the open items
Good.
that they've already identified. All right. So we will move on to good of the order.
It's been kind of quiet. Paula has been enjoying a nice time off this week, so I've been kind of keeping things going. We will hopefully have some items coming up in the next couple of months, so attendance will be important. So we've got some big cases. I don't want to say them quite yet, just to make sure. So other than that, it's kind of business as usual. Nothing quite yet to report.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So before we move on to receiving comments from the public, I wanted to see if any of the other commissioners had any questions or comments for this evening for the public.
Not me. Good.
No, I'm in good shape.
I've got something, Chairman. Informed the mayor last night and Trustee Glatz that tonight will be my last meeting on the Planning Commission. I'm going to go ahead and, in the words of an ex-president, I told him that I will not seek nor will I accept another opportunity to sit on the Planning Commission. I think it's time that, it's real close to time that the new appointees are coming on, and I hope that all you guys stay on the commission. It's a great opportunity to get involved in the community. I've certainly enjoyed it. Certainly have enjoyed working with Paula and Stephanie and now Kimberly and Dan. And the one I really want to give a big hats off to is Barb. You keep us all together. We really do appreciate it. Barb, you do a great job. Thank you. And to Commissioner Stanton and Chairman Shaw, who I've shared this for a little over 2 years, thank you. Commissioner Augustiniak, Gatto, Manny, good luck. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. So, just wanted to let you guys know that's where we're going there.
You'll be missed. You did a great job.
Yes,
Thank you.
did a
Appreciate
great
it.
job.
Thank you.
Thank you. At the risk of being a little sappy, I'm gonna. I was thinking about what I was going to tell Commissioner Croner, and I sent him an email earlier today, and I thought about it, and I'm just going to go ahead and read most of my email to him. Peter, I will personally miss having you on the commission as a sincere and strong Tinley Park advocate. I've come to appreciate and even rely upon your contributions, and I hope the remaining commissioners will remember your example and step forward to follow it. From my perspective, you always did your homework, prepared well for meetings, and never shied away from asking tough questions or making strong statements to advance the best interests of the Village of Tinley Park and its residents. I'm proud of the work we've done together as a team over the last 2 years, and my only regret is that the time comes for you to move on, just as I believe we've started to hit our stride. So, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Here, here. Okay, so now is opportunity to receive comments from the public. Seeing no public here, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Move Commissioner Stan, second Commissioner Augustiniak. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion- Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
See that they wiped the computers as soon as you.
Yeah.